Hi, this is Rodney Bradley, Prevention and Intervention Specialist at Conyers Middle School and Pine Street Elementary. The purpose of this PowerPoint is to identify how we can set up a program of interventions and/or strategies to address the low-level and high-level behavior concerns inside the classroom. What is classroom management? It's effective discipline. It's being prepared for class. It's motivating your students. It's providing a safe, comfortable learning environment. It's building your students' self-esteem. It's being creative and imaginative in the daily lessons. And it's different for everyone. Why? Teaching styles are different. Personalities and attitudes of each individual are different. Student populations different. Not all management strategies are effective for every teacher. Try different strategies to see what works for you. Here are some principles for successful classroom management. Deal with disruptive behaviors, but also manage to minimize off-task and non-disruptive behaviors. Teach students to manage their own behaviors. Students learn to be on task and engage in their learning activities you have planned for them. It's more natural for students to be off task than to be on. Here are some techniques for better classroom control. Focus attention on the entire classroom. Don't overtalk students' chatter. Silence can be an effective technique. Using softer voice tones so students really have to listen to what you're saying. Direct your instructions so that students know exactly what's going to happen. Here are some more techniques. Monitor groups of students to check the progress. Move around the room so students have to pay attention more readily. Give students nonverbal cues. Engage in low-profile interventions of disruption. Make sure the classroom is comfortable and safe at all times. Cooperation through communication. Verbalize descriptions of behaviors and never value judgment about individuals. Verbalize feelings, but remain calm and in control. Do not use sarcasm. Do not place labels, good or bad. Do not get students hooked on praise. Make sure you're praising the work and the behavior, not the students themselves. Speak only to people when they are ready to listen. Here are some classroom rules for conduct. Formalize statements that provide students with general guidelines for the types of behaviors that are required and the types of behaviors that are prohibited. A few rules are easier to remember than many rules. Each rule in a small set of rules is more important than each rule in a large set of rules. Here are 5 steps that can get you started. Take advantage of the new school year or term to set the stage for cooperation. Be particularly prepared and organized. Minimize transition times between activities. Utilize a communication style that establishes non-threatening, comfortable environments. Clearly establish expectations for conduct. At the beginning of the year, take full advantage of the initial uncertainty. Ride your fences. What that means is make sure you're very, very clear about getting those fences and getting those things established. Plan for a favorable beginning. Your plan is your key. Make sure you're reviewing your plan, going over your plan, making sure everyone is clear about what expectations are moving forward. Classroom lab and organization is always important. Ongoing routines, making sure that they understand what's expected day in and day out. Using the learning activity with easy to follow, uncomplicated directions. And use a disclosure statement. Never give a blanket. Make sure that they understand that things can and will happen. Your disclosure statement. It's used to clearly communicate your expectations to students as well as parents. Refer back to the guidelines throughout the term. And understand that it's not a legal binding document. It has to be a breathable, living document that can be changed at times. Now we get into dealing with misbehaviors. We're going to talk about some situations that could possibly happen when dealing with different forms of behaviors. Here are the functions of behavior. Every behavior does have a function. 4 primary reasons for disruptive behaviors inside classrooms are power, revenge, attention seeking, and want to be left alone. Many misbehaviors exhibited by students are responses to a behavior exhibited by a teacher. Do not tolerate undesirable behaviors no matter what the excuse is. Understanding why a person exhibits a behavior is no reason to tolerate it. Understanding the function of a behavior will help in knowing how to deal with that behavior. Here's dealing with some off-task behaviors. Remain focused and calm. Organize your thoughts. Either respond decisively or ignore it altogether. Distinguish between off-task behaviors and off-task behavior patterns. Control the time and the place for dealing with off-task behavior. Provide students with dignified ways to terminate off-task behaviors. Okay, let's talk about some high priority behaviors and some possible responses to it. Here are a few indicators of what you can possibly do. Please make sure you're remaining calm and polite. Keep your voice tone in check as well as your body language. Always allow him or her a way to gracefully retreat from the confrontation. Here are some more ways to deal with the high priority behaviors. The biggest thing I want you guys to realize is making sure we talk about being in that car, making sure we're calm, aware, and respectful. But we really want the students to drive that car. We really want them to sit up there and actually take part and take responsibility of exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it. We want to help guide them. We want to help give them those options. But we want them to really be the people who sit up there and actually maintain those choices and maintain those options of picking those choices of what they can be accountable for, what they can be accepting of, and how they can sit there and kind of drive that car when we're not around.